What's up guys, it's your girl Rivah and I am back again with another video. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Rivah, it's very nice to meet you. Before we get into this video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up, and as I always say, make sure you guys leave your comment section in the comment, make sure that you guys leave your comments in the comment section down below. It doesn't matter how you feel about this video, we all want to talk about it. And also, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON. And we are going to get right into this video. It has been highly requested that I do some more Shahrazad Ali videos. And this is a 4-part interview, so I'm going to break it up a little bit. But this is obviously going to be the part 1. And let's just go ahead and get right into this video.
Within the black community. And we have assembled a distinguished group to debate its premise and its message. Basically, that the black woman is responsible for most of what ails the black community. Now, before we get into what promises to be a passionate debate, I'd like to introduce you to Debbie Mitchell, the co-producer of this program. Debbie, I want to start, I know it's unusual, but I want to start with 2 questions to you, the producer of the program. First of all, what do you think about the basic premise of the book that the black woman is responsible for most of what ails the black community?
First of all, black men and black women know that the black community is under strains right now. And for Shahrazad, a black woman, to basically attack black women, I think that she's putting blame. It seems like she's putting blame on them for the state of the situation.
Are you frightened by this book? I mean, are people reading it?
Yeah, people are reading it. It's specifically the younger black males. I see a lot of them on the trains when I'm coming into work. Their heads are glued to the book, and it's scary.
Okay. Our program today will examine Shahrazad Ali's controversial solutions to these very severe social problems and try, just as importantly, to determine what black men really want from women. That is the focus of this edition of Geraldo.
I think it's very interesting that, he has the other producer of the show on there, and she happens to be a black woman, and she's so upset or against what's happening. But I think it's also interesting to note that history is obviously repeating itself, because at this point, this is the same narrative that people are painting against Kevin Samuels. And so I think it's interesting that generation after generation, there's always going to be somebody called to stand up to do the duty that maybe a lot of people are not willing to do. No, this is old school. What black men really want from women.
I think it's fair to say,
Sorry, the volume is low, guys. That's not me. It's the original video, obviously, because this is like a VHS.
People actually believe that this book will save black culture in the United States and help heal the rift between black men and women. Many others, I think it's also fair to say, think that it's potentially dangerous and harmful, especially to black women. Now, Shahrazad Ali is the author of one of the most talked about books in the community in recent history. And before we open our discussion up to debate, I want to begin, Shahrazad, just with you telling me why you wrote the book.
Well, I wrote it because we are the missing link in our communities.
We, black women.
Is the only information the black man has not had. And we certainly represent the only group here in America who have never been examined for the root causes of our behavior. The white man has been examined, the white woman, and the black man, certainly. Now, first, let me say, Geraldo, that my position is that the black woman's disrespect and rebellion against the leadership and the authority of the black man is a direct cause of the breakdown in our family structure. I am not saying, wait a minute.
Okay.
Because this, as we know, will go to hell in a minute. Let me first tell you what I'm saying. Right. Okay. All right. Certainly the message has been misunderstood and sensationalized by the media, as we saw on the introduction of this show. What we have is a situation where we as black women have never been examined. We have never accepted our share of the responsibility for the condition of our black community. I am not saying that we are 100% responsible. I'm saying that the black man is 50% responsible, and we are 50% responsible.
if we lose half our time waiting for the applause to cease when someone makes a pro or con statement, we're going to use up half the show.
So what I'm saying,
but let me just say that I read the book, and I don't read it that.
So he's trying to stop the applause. Which I've never heard a talk show host say that ever. He's trying to stop her from speaking so that he can speak his point. He's trying to stop the applause so that he can get back to his point. Obviously, still wanting to paint that narrative against what she's trying to say.
I read the book, and I think that when you have, it is impossible to sensationalize a book that uses quotes like, "The black woman is a rat who behaves like a dog while purring like a cat."
What is your nationality?
I'm Puerto Rican, as the world knows.
Okay, well, I didn't write it for the Puerto Rican man. I wrote it for the black man. So, that's what I'm trying to demonstrate, that we have a very special man, and he has a set of very special needs, just like we have. We need to stop claiming that we are all the same. We're not all the same. We have the problems that come from the psychological trauma that we suffered in slavery that we have not revived from yet. And so we have to address that. And we can no longer pretend that it's the white man's fault or that it's your fault or anybody else's. I'm just saying, let's go into our homes and let's look at ourselves. The only civilizations where we have ever been successful, and the black man didn't have a problem supporting us, being in charge of our homes and raising our children until he was brought to this country and turned into a slave and he lost his position in our home.
Is it fair to say, Shahrazad, Ms. Ali, whichever you prefer, that you propose that the black man should be the superior figure in the family and the woman subordinate to the man?
He is. We have just devalued the importance of his presence in our home.
And you understand, while stating that flies directly in the face of all the women's movement, black and white and red and brown and yellow, has accomplished in 2 decades.
We haven't, as black women, we talk about our political accomplishments, but politics means policy. And the only place we can implement any permanent policy is in our homes.
May I ask you a more pragmatic question? Debbie Mitchell, our co-producer, indicates that on the subway to work, she sees young...
So being that he's not obviously he's not a black man, right? He has to now go to Debbie, who is a black woman, to kind of feed off of that energy. That way he has a point in the fight. He has a dog in the fight. And obviously, he's on a broadcast, so he's going to want to be, saying the right things at all the right times and all of that. But just the amount of backlash that she was facing and I love the fact that she said, no offense, but, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking about, your background. I'm not talking about, whatever you guys are going through. Our problems are special to us, and as a woman, I'm talking about my own community, and I really love that so much.
Black men with their heads in the book reading it, it appears as if your self-published book is being widely read. Do you have any idea of how many books are out there and being read?
Well, let's just say if it was a record, it would be platinum.
Let me introduce our other guests, some of whom share Ms. Ali's points of view, others dramatically and profoundly disagree. Sitting next to her is SALATHIEL Luster. He is the vice president of a group called Bond. That stands for the Brotherhood Organization of the New Destiny. It is a support group for men who believe that problems in the black community do indeed stem from black women's superior role in the family. Mm-hmm. Ariola Sinclair is a writer for the New York Amsterdam News, the most important publication, I think it's fair to say, in the African-American community, at least in this town. She has written extensively about her own personal and the public's reaction to this book. She claims the book may serve to further alienate black women from black men. Claytel Benjamin is an award-winning journalist and a former history professor at the University of Massachusetts. He says that Ali's guide for black men is lacking in intellect and scholastic information. There are many, many others who join us in the front row. I'm going to save their introductions for a couple of minutes. Let me just ask SALATHIEL, if, sir, you believe that it is appropriate to enforce discipline in the black family for a black man to hit a black woman.
Okay. I believe, as everyone here, when a child, someone you love, is out of hand or in a state of hysteria, that you can use reprimandation, that you can spank the child to awaken them, not to put them to sleep. And that also, please let me finish my point, and also that it must be done in a state of non-anger. It must be done from a point of self-control. It must be done from observing that this is necessary for the well-being of the human being.
She doesn't say spanking, sir. She says smacking in the mouth very specifically.
Have you ever seen a person in hysteria? Have you ever seen a person that has in such a psychotic state that it takes a strike to bring them to reality? The pain is actually an awakening process.
Quote, if she ignores the authority and superiority of the black man, there is a penalty. When she crosses this line and becomes viciously insulting, it is time for the black man to soundly slap her in the mouth.
Okay.
I got it. Okay. Now, I think we are all here because I have tried to deliver a message to my people to help us with this healing process. Certainly, it's a very sensitive issue and one that all of us are affected by. We cannot deny that the black man is beating us. He's killing us. He's murdering us. He's stabbing us. He's doing horrible things to us every day that we live. Domestic violence in the black community is at an all-time high. I'm trying to put some direction and restriction upon a situation. Now, initially, I thought that black women were opposing to that one sentence out of that 204-page book because they were actually outraged. But I think it's a smokescreen, brother, and I think they're trying to make the sum total of the message in my book land on that one 5-minute text.
Before I get to Abiola and Clayfell, let me jump right to Dr. Napoleon Vaughn, who is a practicing psychologist who thinks that the ideas expressed in this book are not only inaccurate but possibly dangerous. Now, we have heard Ms. Ali, Dr. Vaughn, say that this one statement is being taken out of context. You, I believe, sir, feel it might lead to increased violence in the family. Is that not correct?
I had a patient come to me not too long ago with book in tow, a 32-year-old virgin male who had just broken up with his wife, and what he did was punch her out. This is how he thought that he should make love to her and that he should demand whatever she does. The other thing about this that disturbs me tremendously is the fact that of another patient of mine, a female, whose husband said to her, "You do what I tell you to do," and she decided, well, you're my husband, not my father, and she decided that she was going to go visit her mother. She took the baby in the carriage and started off to visit her mother. Before she knew it, she was falling down. She had taken the baby, so she continued to walk, and before she knew it again, he was on her with a brick in his hand against her head until...
Wow, okay.
Of the message in my book land on that one 5-minute text.
Whoa, everybody. Whoa. Okay. That was a lot to unpack. So like I said, this is a 4-part video. I'm not gonna make you guys wait too long for the second part. This is just the first part. But wow. There's so much to say, but I'm gonna try to make it brief. So basically how I feel about this part about the book where she's saying this about the black man, reinforcing, I think obviously, we know that domestic violence is crazy and rampant and stuff like that, but this was also in a completely different time. This was like maybe 20, 30 years ago, right? And I think it's important to note that whenever that you are in a situation where you're being combative with a man, it's important to remember that a man is a man. I think that a lot of times there's people who communicate with their man and they're very disrespectful, or rude, or they try to challenge their man when he's at his heightened anger. And when these things happen, there will be a clash, right? And I think it's important, to not be in that person's face and not be combative and not be trying to like some people, they get to arguments, try to block the door so that you can't leave and stuff like that. I think those things are necessary to speak about, because from what she was saying in the book, I need to read the book on my own, but from what I'm getting from that little part of the book that they spoke about, it seems as though she was trying to make the woman accountable of her actions and saying that if you don't, there's always going to be a repercussion, and which is valid, which is very true, which is if you're a woman alone and you're doing all of these things that I just stated, some men cannot control themselves. There's no self-control. So that is going to cause a huge issue, right? So you have to know how to control your own emotions and control yourself, because sometimes that literally can save your own life, because not every man that you're dealing with is the same person, right? So I think that that is a big part to speak about. But I also feel like just in, you know, what she said about slavery and about, you know, how they did take the man out of the home. They took the whole family apart, right? Within slavery, they broke up the whole family structure, took the whole family apart. And so, but now that you're able to be back with your counterpart, there has been so much disrespect and so much, we don't need you, to the black man. We don't need you. We could do better by ourselves. We're so independent. Like, they built up this thing with us that we feel like, oh yeah, we don't need him. We good. Like, oh girl, you good. Just focus on your job, focus on your money, focus on stuff like that. And where is he necessary? You know, where does he feel necessary? Because he is necessary, obviously, but where does he feel necessary? So I think that all of this conversation so far is just to go ahead and, like, you know, stop what she's trying to do, and obviously discredit all of these things that she's saying in the book based off of a couple lines in the book that probably have a whole longer communication or whole longer explanation about as well. So let me know what you guys really, really think about that comment in the book, in the comment section down below. I really, really want to know what you guys think about that. Also, if you guys are not following me on Instagram, it's at RIVAH_JORDON. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. As I said, this is part 1. I'm going to be doing part 2 shortly. Just going to let you guys go ahead and see this and see what you guys say. Love you guys.